This morning, we continue to follow the latest in the Atlantic, where there is an ongoing search for the debris from the missing sub found near the wreckage of the Titanic. All 5 crew members on board presumed dead after what investigators are now calling a catastrophic implosion. The Coast Guard had been searching this area, roughly the size of Connecticut, doubled after the sub lost contact on Sunday. Meanwhile, Navy officials say underwater sound detection systems did pick up a loud noise that was consistent with an explosion around the area the Titan was last seen Sunday. The discovery has left many wondering how another tragedy like this could be prevented and what the future of ocean exploration will look like after this tragic event. I want to bring in former Navy Captain Van Gurley now. Van, thank you for your time. I want to focus first on the recovery of the debris and trying to answer the big question as to why this happened and what took place. Here is Rear Admiral Mauger talking about the situation on the seafloor and the challenges that poses.
This is an incredibly unforgiving environment down there on the seafloor. And the debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel. And so we'll continue to work and continue to search the area down there.
Technically speaking, what does this recovery entail, and what are some of the challenges to bring as much of the debris back to the surface?
Well, good morning, Marni. Good to be back with you and your viewers again. As you said, I mean, the most important thing here is to make sure we learn from this so that we can make things safer in the future. And that's probably the best way to remember those that are now lost in this incident. But in terms of what the Admiral was just talking about, you're dealing with weather at the surface, and you're dealing with, incredible depths and incredible pressures at depth at the bottom. The good news is we know how to do this. There's a very highly technical, very well-known, highly technical set of communities and companies that do deep sea salvage. The U.S. Navy has these capabilities. Other industry groups have these capabilities. It can be done. This is not requiring new engineering. We know where the debris field is. We need to get the assets on scene so that they can be recovered and brought back to the surface, because that will provide the key evidence, or could provide the key evidence to move from what happened to why it happened. And that's how you learn from these incidences, understanding the sequence of events, both at the time the vessel was lost, but everything leading up to it. So you can then figure out what are the lessons learned that need to go into place so we can try to prevent this from happening in the future.
Right, and that is one component of a very complex investigation. The other is the questions that will be asked about, were red flags ignored? Was there disregard for safety? What went into building and engineering the Titan, and will it result in litigation? I'm wondering how this impacts the future of deep sea exploration.
It's a dangerous place, and it will always be a dangerous place to go down to the depths that we're talking about here. And there will be brave souls that want to do that. I think the exploration part will continue. The question is, what's the impact to the emerging high-risk tourism market? I mean, you have these incidents. You have folks that are going to outer space. You have folks that try to summit Mount Everest. These are all high-risk endeavors. And you can't make them perfectly safe, but you need to make them as safe as possible, and then communicate that to those that want to pay to go and try to have this experience. So it's important for that industry to provide uniform safeguards so that the public who may want to pay to go do this have the confidence to go do it. I mean, that is at the core of everything in the past in accident investigation. The industry groups, whether it's aviation or shipping, want to confirm, give the public the confidence that you can go and use their facilities and their vessels and do it safely, and you'll come back home.
And they understand the risks, but they also, it is within their right to ask the question, have all necessary safeguards been put in place to mitigate those risks and redundancies as well? Van, thank you for your time as always, Van Gurley. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.